Welcome to the Craft of Coaching podcast, where we dive into what it truly takes to become a skilled, confident life coach. I'm your host, Kate, head of the CLCC, or Certified Life Coach Collective, an ICF accredited Level 1 coach training program. We combine courage, coaching, and community to offer you more than just a training program, but a life-changing experience where you use your own personal transformation as the learning ground for supporting your clients. On this podcast, we explore how you can use coaching skills to support your clients or expand your own growth, all grounded in evidence-based coaching practices. Learn more about our program and get free resources for becoming a life coach at teamclcc.com. And now, here's today's episode. Let's talk about marketing. Sometimes with the craft of coaching, we're going to talk about marketing because the craft of coaching itself is what you're doing in a session, but the reality of your life as a coach means that at some point you'll need to think about marketing. And there are some other episodes where I have talked about marketing. Episodes, I believe, let me look at my little list here. We've got creative marketing, episode 78, episode 87 on being authentic with your marketing, episode 92 where I interviewed Jen Vertanen of We the Unruly on pivots to your marketing strategy, and then episode 46 if you really want to go to like classic, best ways to learn about marketing. So I've talked about marketing a couple times, and I'm going to be talking about it today to try to help you out with why some of your marketing might not be working, because there's something that a lot of newer coaches do that hobbles them a little bit. And it is confidence and clarity, particularly clarity. That seems to be the one that I see a lot more right now. So we're going to challenge today one of the most overused promises in coaching, which is that if you coach with me, you'll get clarity. And listen, we all want clarity. Clarity feels clean and certain and grounded. Like, who wouldn't want to be clear? But when people really rave about the results that they get from coaching, they're often not talking about clarity, which is about what you know. They're talking about capacity, which is what they can now do. People want capacity. They want to feel like they have capacity to show up the way they want to show up, to put in the hard work. They want capacity to sit in the unknown. They want capacity to move forward even if things aren't clear. They want capacity to navigate life even though there's uncertainty. So I'm going to make a bit of a case today for why selling clarity, if you over focus on that, can kind of hurt your marketing efforts and what to do instead. So first things first, why clarity gets so overpromised in our industry is that clarity is very marketable. It's simple, it sounds actionable, it plays well on landing pages. And when people feel overwhelmed, the moment of feeling overwhelmed might be the thing that has them sign up for coaching. When people feel overwhelmed, it's hard to collect their thoughts. It's hard to think straight. There's a sense of, I don't know what it is I want to do. But the thing is, when people say that they want clarity, what they actually mean is, I want certainty, or I want someone to tell me what to do. I don't want to make the wrong choice. And none of those things are what coaching is for. And if a client shows up and basically is saying to the coach, I just want you to tell me what to do, that's not in the client's best interests. And hopefully you won't collude with your client by saying, sure, I'll tell you what to do, because that's not the coaching container. There's a kind of false promise behind clarity. When we sell coaching as a path to clarity, we unintentionally create a dynamic where the client believes there's a right answer, and that if they just dig deep enough, coaching's going to help them find it. And that's kind of a booby trap, right? Because that's not how real life works. Sometimes the right answer doesn't exist. I've coached people before, for instance, who were in marriages that were not contentious, with people they loved dearly, and were great friends with, but the passion wasn't there. The sense of something beyond just we're buds was not there. What's the right answer? There's no right answer in that equation. When you love someone dearly and the marriage isn't feeling like a marriage, yet at the same time you wouldn't want to be apart, that's tricky, that's complicated, that's nuanced. Sometimes people have to choose without guarantees. Clarity might mean you know stuff or you're clear on what you want, but you're not clear on what the outcome's going to be because there isn't one to be clear on. Nobody can guarantee that if they pivot careers, they will find success in the new career. No one can guarantee that if they go no contact with a parent, that is going to be the decision that brings them peace. And also, sometimes clarity comes after taking action, not before it. And we want our clients to choose forward momentum, to choose to take action, not just to know a lot of things about they're clear on. When clients expect clarity first, they wait, they stall, they second guess. When clients build a capacity for uncertainty, which is really the gift that coaching can give, that's when they start to move. So again, what clients really need is capacity. And that's what we want to coach to instead. So think about how you market yourself currently. Consider maybe even pulling out some of your sales pages, assuming you're not, driving or doing something that it would be unsafe to pull out your phone right now. When you evaluate the messaging that you're putting out there, are you selling clarity? Are you selling you'll know, you'll understand, you'll realize? Or are you coaching something deeper? Are you marketing to something deeper? What you probably are wanting to coach towards, because I can imagine I'm like putting myself in the shoes of a podcast listener who's listening to this and going, oh God, yeah, Kate, now that I'm looking at my sales pages, that's what I'm doing. And I'm starting to see why this doesn't work. What do I do instead? Okay. You think about what the greater gifts of coaching are. And I'm going to give you a couple options so that you can think about, is this actually what I'm wanting to coach towards? So for instance, is something that you actually really want people to get from coaching with you inner resourcefulness, or the ability to navigate ambiguity, to keep showing up even when it's hard, grit, resilience, determination? Are you wanting to coach people actually around nervous system regulation, the ability to stay with tension, the skills to dissipate tension? Are you wanting to coach your clients on the ability to hold paradox, duality, doubt? Because that's the real gift. That's what lasts. Clarity will come and go, but capacity is what stays. So here's how you start shifting away from just selling clarity. And I will add this in here too. I'm talking about when clarity is the sole message that is on your pages. Clarity, I'm sure if you look somewhere on my website, I'm talking about coaching benefiting you because you can find clarity around a problem you face. Like, it's in there, but it's not the sole focus of what is on my marketing materials on any of my websites. So instead of really focusing on promising clarity as an outcome of coaching, maybe say something like, we're going to explore together what you already know and how to apply it to action, or how to move with what you don't know, how to be with uncertainty. You can also normalize uncertainty. It makes sense that if you're reading this sales page right now, you want clarity, but I'm going to trust that you actually already know a lot of stuff. And the real work is about how to start taking action despite uncertainty. Or maybe you want to speak to the discomfort. What would it mean for you to live with the confidence of choosing your next action and being okay with not knowing the outcome? In a coaching session, Sometimes clients in the midst of a session will just want clarity, and they'll often be announcing this when they start to talk to you about what they want to focus the session on today. They'll use phrases like, I'm trying to get clarity around. This is a beautiful moment to start distilling deeper into that client's primary focus. I'd like to get clarity on whether or not I should quit my job or stay with my job. Well, okay, let's explore your values and try to clarify the decision. Okay, all right, client might want to go in that direction. Okay, client-led always. If that's what the client says, that's what I want, go for it. But I'm inviting you, maybe next time you're in that situation, to try this with your clients. Got it. You're trying to make a decision about quitting your job or staying. And I'm guessing that as you've been thinking about this, there's some stuff you know and some stuff that feels uncertain. Do you want to go in the direction of, here's what I know and let's make a decision? Or do you want to explore what's happening in the not knowing? Would you like to explore what's scary about making a big move? Do you want to spend any session time today on the fear or self-doubt that's coming up with each of your possible choices? That's where the real stuff lives. And that really ties into, for instance, ICF Core Competencies such as facilitating client growth. Growth comes from doing the work and putting yourself out there even without clarity, even when you're uncertain, even when you don't know. Now, as you're thinking about all of your marketing materials and the things that you've created, again, I'm always putting myself in the mindset of a possible listener when I record these episodes. And I could imagine a coach going, oh no, I've developed a whole website or a video series or a podcast or, all the direction of clarity, 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 clarity. I've put everything behind clarity. And the thing is, what you can do with these moments is you can actually use them as a live adaptation or evolution, really, of your own growth. Your next video that you make or podcast that you make could come out the gate and say, I've been talking a lot about clarity. How do we find clarity? What do we need to do to get clear? Things of that nature. And I'm realizing that in addition to the conversation about clarity, I'd like us to go a little deeper and explore what it looks like to just not know. What a powerhouse we become when we're willing to not know, to not have the perfect roadmap, and yet explore in that direction anyway. In this way, you start to really reframe for people that clarity is fine, but it's not the end goal. That uncertainty is not a problem, it's a portal, it's an opening. It's actually where we get some of the best things of life from. You can feel afraid of moving forward and excited at the same time. And it's also where we start to support our clients in moving out of needing the answer, but instead to see the value of coaching coming from resilience. I personally, and I think this is true for most people, I know what the best practice is. I know what the ideal protocol is in 99% of situations, just purely from my time on earth, okay? What's hard is not knowing how it's going to turn out and if I'm going to be okay, and the fundamental human vulnerability of that. And so if we can help our clients do the work of tapping into that vulnerability, being willing to walk with uncertainty, they emerge stronger. And I think that's the type of situation that ends up having them go, this coach that I'm working with has helped me to do the real work. My life has changed in real, resonant, and meaningful ways. So take a look at some action steps for you if you'd like them. Take a look at your marketing materials and evaluate where it is that you might be selling clarity, an outcome, an answer. And you don't have to scrub all of that from what you've done, but just make sure you're peppering in there also that what you're really about is not arriving at some kind of final perfect answer, but supporting the client to become more of who they already are. And part of that journey is becoming resilient. Part of that journey is the ability to navigate uncertainty. That is actually what makes people feel powerful, especially in a crazy, chaotic, messy world like we live in, with so many different things going on that pull at our attention and stress us out. The ability to sit within all of that and say, I'm okay. That is vitally important work. And something else that you might want to start to do is just notice that when clients open up sessions, they frequently will talk about wanting clarity around a particular issue. And so as you're working in those client sessions, really make sure that you help the client to drill down to what clarity would give them, how their life would be different if they had clarity. Are they willing to accept that there might not be clarity here, but there could be something else to explore? And if clarity is not the outcome for today's session, but rather something that helps them to sit in what is, or discomfort or uncertainty, how is that of value to them and to their process? All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Before you go, would you help us out and take a moment to give us a rating in iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening? It really helps us get the word out to other listeners. And before you go today, would you like free resources to support your coaching journey? Whether you're considering becoming a coach or you want advanced coach skills training, access our coaching resource library at teamclcc.com. Again, that's teamclcc.com. Can't wait to connect with you. And again, thanks for listening.